When you think of production gear, a camera cart is not going to be the first thing that you're thinking of buying. When you're starting a production company, definitely shouldn't be the first thing because you need other equipment. But when you start to accumulate more equipment like I have, camera carts start to creep into the back of your mind. It's easier to transport stuff around, but it's definitely not as exciting as purchasing something like a brand new camera, especially when brands like Adicam and Innovative, their starting price points are around $4,000 Canadian. And I'm still going to tell you why spending $4,000 on a camera cart can be a better investment than buying the latest and greatest camera. But there's a few caveats to that, and we'll talk about that in this video. Now, before I start telling you right away, go out and spend $4,000 on a camera cart, I should give you some context and some of the problems that I was having leading up to this point. For the last 6 or 7 years, I've been using the Rock and Roller R12 cart, and it's great. It does most of what it says it's supposed to do. It carries up to 500 pounds, and it rolls fairly smoothly. Problem being that the wheels are a max size of 8 inches on the R12 cart, which on some rougher terrain starts to jostle your equipment around quite a bit more, which then leads to needing bungee cables and ratchet straps to hold everything down. It also holds equipment really well if it's square or boxy. So if it's in a Pelican case, an aperture case, milk crates, anything like that, it does a pretty good job of holding it, but you really have to play Tetris and stack things accordingly so that everything stays as level as possible so that there's less chance of it getting jostled off of the Rock and Roller cart. The other problem is that to get max capacity on that cart, you have to extend it out much wider, which again, leads to some issues when you're working in downtown Toronto, like I do quite often shooting documentaries. I have to park sometimes on the street and cart my stuff a block or two away because the parking situation in that city is less than ideal. I should also mention that the Rock and Roller cart does not carry C-stands well whatsoever. C-stands have been the bane of my existence for the last 6 or 7 years. I mean, I only have 4 of them. That's all I normally need on most shoots. But trying to transport those to set can be really difficult because, again, Rock and Roller carts were never meant to really carry C-stands that are bigger in size, and they fall off the cart, and they have fallen off the cart many times in the city. And then I'm that guy picking up a whole bunch of metal off of the ground. It's embarrassing, and it's just frustrating when you're either trying to get to set or you're just trying to get home at the end of a long day. So that was my problem with the Rock and Roller cart, and I'll still be using it, but I needed a better solution, and that's where, again, the production cart came in. Over the last 6 months, as I started to really dive into the possibility of buying a production cart for myself, there were 3 main points that kept popping up in my head. The first one being that a production cart will actually make you a better filmmaker. Hear me out. By having something that can get you to set a lot quicker, a lot smoother, it declutters your mind in worrying about getting the most important pieces of equipment to set when you're in a place like Toronto where parking's not ideal, your locations might not be ideal in trying to fit through small doorways or elevators, knowing you might have to cart your equipment around to a few different locations quickly. Not having to think about those things, knowing that it's all gonna fit on this cart, it just frees up your mind from worrying about gear and getting to worry more about what's going to help move your piece of content or video or film ahead. And then point number 2 is production carts can actually help you prolong your career. I'm not old. I'm 35, but I'm also not 25 any longer. And after over a decade of doing this professionally and probably 20 years of just making videos for the love of it, your body starts to feel it from your job, playing sports, all those things. The aches and pains start to creep in, and having something that will allow you to push something smoothly to set will save your back, save your arms, all of those things so you can shoot longer on the day and shoot longer throughout your career.
All right, well, I love this thing. It's like probably the best thing that I've ever purchased. I say that about a lot of things, but this cart, this trek from way over there all the way around on this really shitty flooring on the field here. 10-inch wheels came in clutch.
And my third and final argument for purchasing a production cart before we dive into the specifics of which cart I went with and all the accessories that came with it is that it creates a more professional shooting environment. It goes without saying that when you show up on set and you have something like this with your C-stands all racked up neatly, Everything's kind of tidy and looks like it's ready to shoot once it's pulled off the cart. Your client or your producer, production company, whoever you're working with, is just going to show them that, hey, this person is a professional and they're ready to shoot right away. It just makes for a smoother day for them. It also creates a great workbench. If you're a first AC, a camera person, even a sound person with a bigger kit, it gives you a work surface to build up cameras. It gives you 1/4-20 and 3/8 threads all over. So if you need to rig up a little work light or anything like that, off to the side, you can continue to work while other things are happening on set. And it's just really nice to have that flat surface area. So you're not trying to fumble around on the floor or finding a little workbench or an Apple box to work off of. You have a dedicated space right there to work off of. And finally, if you're a client or your producer, it gives them a bit of a video village. You can rig up a monitor on these carts. You can, whether it's a 10-inch, a 20-inch monitor, these carts can support that weight and give them a space to give real-time feedback, and also gives them a space to work. You can see I have my laptop set up there as well, so they can continue working, taking notes on the shots that are happening, and it, again, just makes for a much smoother day. Okay, I'm done rambling on all that stuff. Let's talk about the specifics of this cart and how it's gonna work better for me.
This is it. This is the innovative NXT cart. It's 89 pounds total. It can carry up to 600 pounds max capacity, which is really exciting because that's 100 more pounds than what the rock and roller could carry. And you can see already it's going to carry all of that equipment a lot better than what the rock and roller could do previous. Right here up front, I've got 2 Gibraltar drum kit parts. Now these guys work great as C-stand holders. This was an idea that was brought up on YouTube from Kevin Reyes, who's a DP director down in California, and did a bunch of hacks for these carts because these carts are not cheap. I actually bought this used off Facebook Marketplace for $3,900, saving me around $1,100 Canadian. Those Gibraltar drum kit parts are great. The previous owner actually gave me not 1 or 2, actually gave me 3 sets of these Gibraltar L brackets so that I can carry a ton of C-stands to set, and they will be super useful for me. Coming around to this side here, we've got the grips here. These are twist lock grips. They've been great so far. Haven't had any major issues with them. And then coming over to the Robo Cup holder, this is incredibly important, keeping your liquids off of the top shelf of your cart as much as possible, because liquid damage is no good for cameras or computers. So get yourself a Robo Cup. They're fairly cheap. If you're in the Toronto area, you can get them from Source Shop, and Source Shop's awesome, so buy them there. Coming around here to the Pro Aim baby pin mast. This I have rigged up as a director's monitor right now. You can put a small light on it, any other accessories that use a baby pin. That's what they're for. But overall, this cart has been so handy for me. I've only had it on 2 shoots so far, but I gotta tell you, it's made a world of difference already, and I absolutely love it. So they're not cheap whatsoever. It's definitely something you have to think about when you're purchasing it, if you're gonna be on set quite a bit and moving around location to location. But for the type of shoots that I do, I've been shopping this out and driving the guys in the studio absolutely insane for the last 6 months, because it's been something that's been on my mind that I really wanted, especially with those 10-inch wheels. So smooth. Even on rockier terrain, I've had to go through snow and ice and salt already, and it's just been incredible. So if you're in the market for one and you have any questions, give me a shout. I've been researching them for like 6 months now, but they're great. Anyway, if you have any questions, let me know down in the comments below. If you like this video, that's awesome. Like and subscribe, and Happy New Year. We will see you in 2025. Now that I have this mobile workstation, I have even fewer excuses to get videos done. So we'll see you soon.